What is up? Is it lagging? Okay. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Mic check, mic check. Thanks everybody for coming. It looks like it's working. I have my other tab open and it's a little laggy, but I think it's working. How's it working for you, Daniel?
Looks good. There's like a 15-second delay on the live stream on Twitter, but other than that, it seems to be working flawlessly.
Just ignore the live stream.
Excellent. Well, I guess we can just keep talking and then maybe it'll catch up to everybody. I'm just going to look on my phone and try and push this out to Instagram really quick. I have not done this before, so I don't know how it's going to go. Nope. So maybe that's not going to work. Okay, that's all right. No Instagram. YouTube and I think Twitter. Do you know if Twitter's working on your guys' end?
Yeah, it's working on my end.
Oh, tight. Okay, now I'm just blabbering. All right, sweet. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. This project has been pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's been going on for, a good year as far as the concept goes. It's been a lot of these other trips out to Japan, and every time I've gone, it's been like an idea of how can I, create this into a project to share with you guys. And so, start from finish and like getting all these sketches and obviously the vacation and the inspiration and snowboarding with friends and everything was just such a cool experience that I wanted to bundle up together. And so after my show in New York City in July, I took about a month off and I was trying to figure out what my next project was going to be. And that's kind of when me and Transient Lab started to talk shop on a project. And I kind of bundled up a couple of different ideas of, what to create. And I sent over a pitch deck. And, the main idea was just the certificate of authenticity. And after that, it really bloomed into this really wild project. And that's kind of where Japanuary came to fruition. And then to really push it way further, I was talking to Matt over at Nifty Gateway, and we kind of turned this whole thing into a three partnership program. And I mean, literally from the artwork to the partnership to T.R.A.C.E to like the marketplace and the whole entire community was literally like the best I've ever seen. And the video that came out from Graham's and just the marketing and really the encouragement from day one was pretty high. There's lots of ups and downs, a lot of hiccups, and a lot of like, what am I doing with my life? Which is like, I think every creative kind of goes through these phases of just like the craziest hiccups and really just trusting that creative process. And overall, I mean, when we launched this last week, I had no idea how this was going to turn out. And in the first 5 minutes, I think we sold around 133 pre-sales in just 5 minutes, which I looked at it and I was like, what? And I kind of walked away for a second and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And next thing you know, I was like, holy shit, this is real. And then right when it went public, it was just like the floodgates opened and the amount of phone calls and DMs and just this whole kind of feedback was so encouraging and so amazing. And so just creating this and having you guys enjoy and respond to this was one thing. And then having this kind of phase two where giving away these two paintings that are right behind me that, these are two of probably some of my favorite works. And it's really a thank you to giving back to the community and pushing myself with technology and my art is just something that I want to share with you guys. So I can't wait to see who the two lucky winners are. I think, before we do the drawing and while I blabber even more, the drawing is going to be like a little picker, a spinner wheel, and that wheel will be, it's all going to be related to the edition number. And once we get on that edition number, that will be the winner. And after the show ends, we'll kind of reach out to those 2 people and we'll figure out shipping and all that good stuff. But I think before we do that, I mean, first we can check out this art. I mean, stuff it's way bigger than the photos probably make it look. But I mean, guys, I mean, she's a beauty. I just love this one so much. And I don't know how blurry that is for you guys, but all those dots on there took me a very long time. And kind of part of the series was really exploring how to create snow and how to create that environment and that movement, because some days when it's snowing, there's no wind and it's just, you can't even hear the sound of it. And then other times it's howling in your face from the wind and you're just trying to block it. And so I was really trying to encapsulate all those feelings in each of the paintings. I don't know if you guys have any questions on that. I mean, keep asking away, but I think we'll kind of jump back over to Q&A afterwards. But I don't know, Daniel or Marco, if you guys want to talk about T.R.A.C.E. and deep dive into that a little bit. It's such a new technology, and having this digital certificate of authenticity is just, it's pretty groundbreaking, and it's something that I truly believe in, and it's something that I think galleries and a lot of these other institutions will start to use this just for how powerful this is. Because really, when you have that piece of paper, like, anybody can lose that. And having this chip really embedded into the canvas, embedded into really any object, I think is truly groundbreaking. So I'll let you guys take it away for a few minutes. And
yeah, thanks. For anybody that doesn't know me, Marco, co-founder of Transient Labs. Yeah, T.R.A.C.E. is something that I'm super excited about, especially as 2024 gets underway. Like, we're in the alpha kind of prototyping stages still, so it's really awesome to work with great artists like yourself, Alimo, to just like get raw feedback on like physical application and like the digital experience. And there's still like a lot of work to be done, obviously, in that core, but the core concept of these digital certificates of authenticity, like you said, are just like utilizing the blockchain to back these records that should be public anyways, for physical art, is just like, it just made so much sense when we thought of it last year. And like, there's some other stuff out there on the market that attempts to solve the same issues that we're solving with T.R.A.C.E. And I'm here more to talk about T.R.A.C.E. itself, I suppose. So essentially the system is it's a combination of creator sovereign contracts. So like Alimo, you own your own certificate or contract that the certificate of authenticity is minted on, and that certificate of authenticity is actually minted to a wallet address that lives on a chip. So these chips are like cryptographically enabled secure elements that are affixed to, perfect, there's one of them, manufactured by this company T.R.A.C.E. Really awesome people to work with. They've done stuff like Concash. But they're these secure elements that have an Ethereum address and have these like really unique signing capabilities, just like how you can sign an OpenSea order. You can do something similar with these chips. And so combining that with some smart contract logic creates this system where we have these digital certificates of authenticity as NFTs. We have story inscriptions where data like exhibitions, sales, alterations, creation can all be recorded on chain by either the creator or registered agents. So registered agents would be museums, galleries, auction houses. The network is expanding. And perfect. Here's the digital experience so far, and this is ever evolving. But you can see here that there's information about the piece as a description, but then also these inscription like provenance on chain. And so you can see that it was created Wednesday, January 10th, authenticated on the 29th. And then Alimo has added these stories here. And so like, I don't know if you click on like the second story, it renders in, I think, your sketches that you initially made of the piece. And I'd love for you to talk about everything that you've done here.
Yeah, I was mic'd up. Yeah, it's crazy. Like when we were going through the certificate of authenticity and then the physical art, and a huge gap that I had was like, if someone buys your painting and maybe they've never met you, maybe they passed away, whatever, you'll never know what their ideas were and like how they came up with it, unless there was a book written on them or any sort of interview or what have you. And in this case, you can put your phone up next to this, or you could go online and look at these records, and you can actually see. And in my case, I went in and I added a story and I called it Alimo Sketchbook. And in here, I kind of embedded these different sketches, and these were brainstorming ideas out there, and this is part of the trip. We're in the RV driving and we're looking for snow, and now we're hiking in the mountains. And at the time, I have no idea what the final painting is going to be like. But when you look back and you kind of reverse engineer things, you go, holy shit, that was step one. Okay, that's amazing. Like you're like, what like that's where your head was at. And then you can kind of deep dive into a little bit more, and you go, oh, okay, well, here's some photographs that sorry, my internet's a little slow. But you can really look and deep dive into where my head was at in that whole entire history, which I think is super important, and again, like very groundbreaking when it comes to that historical evidence. And what's cool is
oh, sorry. I was going to ask if that was the RV that you were staying in, that small little Japanese RV. It's not like a traditional American RV.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back here pretty soon to go stay in an RV for another few weeks again. That's part of that experience, and that's part of how I came up with all these ideas. It's like you can't predict what you're going to draw, but living in those experiences is really where the ideas come to fruition. And you're with your pals and you're talking ideas and you're having fun, and it's just really cool. I mean, for me personally, to look back, because I have all my sketches and I have writings and I have these different things, but not very many people get to see them. And so in this case, it's rad. And this is another one. So it's, pal. And in this case, on the blockchain, you're seeing one photo of the painting, but you're not really getting photos close up. You're not really getting photos that show scale and show me, and you get to see photos of the backside of the painting, and you get to see the front view of it. And so those things it's almost more like evidence if you're passing over a painting going, oh, this is truly authentic. This is what the painting is, opposed to like getting a crappy photo and not knowing if that painting is in fact the real deal. And then lastly, I put in, there's these free form pieces where you can go on T.R.A.C.E and add like a variety of different ways to kind of show any transactions or evidence. And in this case, I put in, there's the drop, here's the live stream that we're in right now. And what's cool is after we see who the winner is, I'll come in here and I'll click add records, and you can see that there's different record types. And so I can come in here and go, okay, all those ones that you saw was this one called freeform, and there's other ones called media. And, in this case, since we're giving the painting away, there isn't technically a sale. And so we'll likely just be clicking this button that says transfer. And once we do that, that will pop up in that whole entire chip in that history, which would be it'll pop down right here in this timeline, which is so dope. Like that part, like me teching out and getting all geeky, like that is phenomenal. That's a lot of tech under the hood that, you see this painting and hopefully you really like it, but it's really that deeper level that I think galleries can really utilize. I think any collector at their home, that they can share these types of stories with, their friends, really, I think is pretty neat.
Yeah, I think I don't know, I guess like as somebody who worked on this really closely, obviously I think it's cool, but like I really appreciate that you're like, part of this process and that you've really enjoyed it so far, and see like the value in like the COA behind and like a digital and like on a immutable public ledger rather than like gated behind doors. Because like I don't know if anybody's gone through like Christie's like postmodern or you can go through a bunch of galleries and they'll on their websites you typically sometimes have at least some sort of like provenance section, and it's really small. It's actually kind of hard to find. But like you don't really know where that came from on the blockchain. Instead with T.R.A.C.E, you can see that you added all these, and then if it gets traded somewhere, you know, that let's say it gets displayed at a museum. That museum ideally is part of the T.R.A.C.E network and can actually on chain put that it was displayed there and exhibited there. And so now you have proof that like, hey, the museum confirmed this on the blockchain, which is really cool. And so like it's, you know, you have kind of this like immutable chain of what's happened, and then also people can interact and create this network where it's just not one person saying this happened. So
yeah, it's so cool. And you know, for me, this is my diary, and these are my opinions, but that's just how I utilize these NFC chips with T.R.A.C.E. And think about maybe you're a sculptor, maybe you paint murals, or maybe you produce clothing. Like you could do so many different scenarios where people are interacting with it and really stamping all these records that, I mean, think about a t-shirt that you pass down from me to your brother, and you go, and it's just silly back and forth. Like maybe it doesn't need to be this like heavy hitting thing. It could be like add in some comedy and laughter into it on just passing things back and forth. So it's really unique and very like versatile, if that's the right word. So I'm hyped on it. Again, I'm hyped on all these paintings. I see this, you know, I've been using NFC chips this past year. This is certainly a huge evolution for me, and I see no going back on any of the old ways when it comes to my art. So anybody who's buying future paintings, you're going to be seeing similar things like this. So yeah. And if you guys have any questions, please ask, because I know it looks like there is a couple. Let's see.
I think E-Parrot4 said, how does the physical piece link to a digital COA? Yeah, it's through that cryptographically enabled chip. That chip actually owns the digital COA. So like the physical owns its own certificate of authenticity is like the primary idea, which I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, in my old ways, I would have an NFC chip, and if you put your phone over it, that links you to the OpenSea account, and you can see who that owner is. And I created this different code where, you know, you can click on the image and see the different photos of the digital and the physical. But the problem is there was a lot of security issues where if my wallet got hacked, someone could go in and actually change that image. And so they could put a cat as that image instead of the painting, and the owner would have no way to change anything on that end. And with T.R.A.C.E, it being that owner and it having that own digital wallet, similar to any transaction with MetaMask, like I can't go in and change this image that you see here. What I can do is only move linear, where I'm adding records moving forward. I can't really come and like delete anything before that, and I can't swap these things out. And so having that physical link is super important for security reasons and for that collector to feel comfortable that they're buying this and knowing that they will forever be that owner, until they trade it or transfer whoever else, or maybe they send it over to a gallery at the MoMA, who knows? So things like that. I don't know if that answers your question. Are you the subject in Japan? Ooh, that's a good question. This one really was my buddy on this last trip. His name's Marco. He's a goofy footer, and so in that case, I'm more regular. I can certainly do both, but in PAL, I'm going to be dropping in regular. This was just a unique scene. It's like again, all my work is a mix match of my sketches and photography. So nothing ever is, it's like, I'm not looking at an exact photo. Like this is in fact like one crappy photo I took of him that I freeze froze, and I know that that's him, but everything else is completely in different place, different time, or not different time, but different areas. But Japao could also be you, Jeremy. It could be anybody. It's really just that feeling of really just getting knees deep powder and just having the time of your life. So it's funny that I even said that this was my friend, because almost all my work, I don't really talk about who that person is. I'm always focusing on that expression because I want that to relate to people, and I don't want to add facial features so you know, oh, that's so-and-so, that's not me, that's not you. And so this could be Jeremy, who knows? Okay, let's see here, what do we got next? Should we do the raffle? You guys ready for something like that? Matt, you want to jump on, and or I guess I could share your screen.
Yeah. I'll pull up the screen that I'm sharing. All right, what's up, everyone? It's Matthew, aka Nifty Time. Just another mic check. You can hear me okay?
Yep.
There we go. Okay, so as you can see, Wheel of Names, or as I like to call it, the Wheel of Death, currently unpopulated. But now that all eyes are on this, and just for proof of transparency, we'll be adding in the 342 editions. You can see one all the way to the bottom, 342. You can see the number of entries here is at 342. Before we spin this, I'll just shuffle it for extra randomness. And as soon as I click this, we're going to get one winner pulled. After that winner's edition is pulled, we'll verify it on Nifty Gateway just so we can shout out the current owner, and then we will do this again. So first spin. Alimo, you want to count us down?
Yeah, and so let's do the first painting for Japao, since we've been talking about that. All right, countdown, is that what you said?
Yeah, count
I'm
us
so
down.
nervous. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Let's go. Oh, it stopped and then moved.
127.
127.
127.
That person in this room. Oh, 298 Drew. Oh man.
Enable 92. Enable 92. Shout out Enable 92.
All right, let's go.
We'll be reaching out to you. Let me make a record of this too, just so I don't forget.
Okay.
We have to reach out.
Enable 92.
Yeah. All right, there we go. We're good.
Whoa.
And now I'm going to remove that edition so they don't randomly win again. Also, just talking out loud here, in case Enable 92 owns another edition that's selected, we want to make sure it's another unique winner, correct?
Yes.
Cool. There we go. So if we pick you again, Enable 92, go buy a lottery ticket. Someone else will get the next.
Oh my God. This is for Shin Shin. $220.
Right,
oh man.
Kutoa, Kutoa. Shout out Kutoa. There we go.
Okay.
And that's it.
I don't know.
We got 2 uniques though, so that's awesome. We'll be in contact over email, getting shipping information and all that good stuff settled. But there we go. Wheel of Death concluded. Congrats to both of those winners.
Dang, that's wild. Yeah, I wish everybody was here so we could be hooting and hollering, but this was a very big project for me, and this is insane. It sounds like the 2 people aren't here, but yeah, once we reach out, I'll be shipping these guys out. I'd say third week of February. I'm actually going to be going on vacation for the next couple of weeks for from this trip and just to reset, because I am it took a lot out of me. So again, thank you guys so much. This was ridiculous, like such a successful project, and I don't even know how else to thank you guys except that all these sales is helping me to create more, and that just means another project with you guys and more creativity and more just evolving my practice. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and thank you, Nifty Gateway. Thank you, Transient Labs. Thank you guys all. I don't know how else to say that, but yeah. Reach out on Twitter, DM, all the good stuff. We're all around. So thank you guys again.
Yeah, congratulations again, Alimo. This was really awesome to see. So
Amazing.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. All right. I guess we'll end it here. This is like the weird time where you hit end, but
sounds good. Catch y'all later.
all right.
There you go.
See you guys.
Yeah.